It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi, and as always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Obiajilu Ugo. How are you today?
Hi, Happy New Week.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
What did you give them?
I did nothing. I think the producers felt I needed rest for whatever reason.
Okay. We are going to pay back.
Definitely miss you.
You don't need any rest.
Honestly, I don't. I don't. But I had a good weekend. So you see, now you have finished your weekend gist. This is when I want to start my own. I had a good weekend. And I watched the show on Monday when you talked about the Akada Book Festival. I was there, saw a lot of kids. I saw adults, and the conversation was like, we need to start telling stories. We need to start breaking down the stories so that children would understand, from our different perspectives. I remember when she came on the show too, she talked about talked about how she can teach her children finance. I say you can also put it in a storybook for children so that they can learn. So it was a good outing. I was proud of my daughter. She's a published author. I'm still struggling to find my way. But yeah, I was really glad to be a part
proud mommies.
Yeah, what do we do now? My friend here was there. I was feeling so when I got there that day, because she came later on, everybody was like, where's your book? I say, it's not me. It's Miriam. Do we look alike like that? We get it a lot. Where's your book? I said, and I called her, I said, you would have just given me the books. Let me see my life if I had known.
How you doing, Nima?
I'm fine, no. Just I'm a bit under the weather, and I'm just
okay.
I didn't really sleep well yesterday. And today is the fidal prayer for Alaja Miriam Malomo Jimo. Honorable Olumi was Jimo's mother passed, and it's 8 days today. I hope that I can get there with all the schedule. For today is important because he's a very close friend of mine. His daughter and me have birthday mates and so many common things I need to do. This one I must show. I don't do burials. I don't do, but I will show. I'm really going to try.
Good. How are you doing, Mariam?
Fine. I had one interesting gist for people. I'm looking at the time for banter. It won't take you.
Go ahead. Don't worry.
Are you sure?
Give us.
Okay, so my husband hasn't been feeling well. He has his backache. He's been managing for nearly 2 weeks now. And my mom is beside herself. Is he okay? Is he this? She's just running up and down. Then she's telling me that, won't I put hot water and rub? I looked at her, I removed my face. Then she comes, she says, he's already planned to go to the hospital. I said, he agreed to do the stairs. So she's looking at me like kind of wife are you? So I sat down and I was like, did you hear what she said? That did I ask you? He laughed. He said, she did not tell you that we'll chop your head off if you disturb me concerning my issues. I said, that's why I'm looking at her. So, perspective is important. Yeah. She is looking at me like, does not care. But I know that if I put my mouth in what he thinks does not concern me, I will hear it. When he's not feeling fine, he likes to handle it himself. He likes his space. He does not want someone in his ear telling him,
what to do, how to do it.
So
it's respectfully understanding that his mom.
Your mom wants you to be a good wife. That's the traditional thing.
I'm the good wife to this type of husband.
Those standards, yes.
All right, let's go on a quick break now. When we return, we'll look at the front pages of the paper. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. How I will tackle inflation, Naira, Forex crisis by Cardoso. OPS, Speaker, others oppose Labour strike call. INEC fixes dates for Ondo governorship elections. Federal government needs 207 billion naira to complete 269 roads. Response to allegations, Ondo Assembly tells Aiyedatiwa. Obaseki asks Shaibu to drop governorship ambition. Tinubu okays purchase of 12 attack helicopters. Maulud Nabil, President offers felicitate with Muslims, and how Abiodun is driving FDI through OGFTZ. Okay, which story? Are we starting with major headline? You have that?
Headline, yes. So Michael Olayemi Cardoso yesterday began his tenure as the 12th Central Bank of Nigeria governor, following its clearance by the position by the Senate. He promised to provide transparent and focused leadership with full adherence to the rules and return the Apex Bank to its core monetary policy responsibility. He also pledged to work in synergy with the fiscal authorities in the overall interest of the economy in short and medium term. So you know that he was a former chairman of the Citibank, for a bit, and he said that he has the credentials to, continue with the CBN. There were also other people who were screened alongside him. So 4 deputy governors by the Senate. All of them were also cleared. The governors are Mrs. M.M. Usoro, Mr. Muhammad Sani Abdulhai, Datijo, Mr. Philip Ibeazo, and Dr. Bala M. Bello. And, all of them were responding to the questions that were asked them. But there was something important he said. I hope I can find it. He says that he needs to refocus the CBN, right, to its core mandate. And there is a need to pull the CBN back from direct development, financing interventions into more limited advisory roles that will support economic growth. The CBN has been putting hands into so many things of late. Now they want to focus on how they can grow the economy, see how at least we can give our Naira the energy it has, because the way the Naira is collapsing, I really don't know. People who have a lot of investments in Naira, I don't know how it's going to be in a few years' time if nothing is done. So they should focus on growing the economy like he has promised. I hope he will also break down how he wants to do this to the general
because
public.
CBN was one giving money to Anchor's Borough.
They were into a lot of things. It's not their hands.
It's not your
job. That screening yesterday. I watched it.
I heard,
but the Senate president was the most interesting.
Which one?
Are you serious?
He was using the screening to throw jibes at the former CBN governor.
Okay.
So, really?
That's how we appeared at the primaries. And we saw a CBN governor printing all the cards for his ambition. And he left the ground for the primaries back to his office. They were I hope that you will not go and start choking hand in things that is not as in about 3 different.
But there was a question I wish I got the answer to. The one was asked. Somebody asked about all the multicolored Naira that we have, one brown, one blue. Which one are we doing? What are you going to do? Do you know what he answered? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Okay, I would like to
I
know
remember when the Senate president also told him that in other countries, no country in the world has ever changed their Naira overnight. But this one, though your predecessor tried to do it in 30 days, I'll be something days.
How possible?
And the CBN governor did not work alone. He worked with a
but if he had insisted on his roles.
Let's take another story. So, Mary, you have a story?
So I have another story. Remember the feud that's happening in Edo State between the governor and deputy governor. The governor, we finally heard from anonymous sources that the governor has said he has agreed to reconcile with his deputy, Philip Shaibu, but on the condition that Shaibu drops his ambition to run for the September 2024 state governorship poll.
Why?
He said that Obaseki wants Shaibu to do so publicly or be excluded from all government activities, including the state executive council meetings, if he failed to do so. They said that Shaibu's ambition, that is the real
cocoa. There's a reason.
This is bullying.
I don't know.
No, there's no reason for that.
The real cocoa of the feud between them.
They
said that the governor already has someone that he's supporting, Asue Igodalo, a lawyer from Edo Central, to ensure fairness, justice, and equity. That is his reason. and that this Ighodalo is the chairman of the board of trustees of, where annual investment drive by the state. But as we know, Shaibu has insisted that he must partake in the governorship election. And they said that the governor has also been surreptitiously sort of moving Shaibu from sitting on in strategic meetings. So he would send him off for events outside the state, and then the governor will meet with...
strategy meeting?
It has happened.
So this is a clear case of bullying.
I also didn't support.
And I don't think this should be allowed.
Governor's ambition.
For whatever reason.
But the present governor was able to win an election. The question is, can Shaibu win an election without the support?
Without the support.
So remove your support now.
Could be back end reasons also. We don't know. You know how some people come together and say, okay, it's your turn. I go first, then you go. Depending on the state, we don't know the agreement that was reached before. This position came in.
If I now choose not to follow the agreement,
and now
do you tell me to drop my ambition?
Take responsibility actually to run.
Yeah.
So that's bullying. Governor Abiodun's ambition. No, in fact, he floated another party for his own candidate, but the governor that won on the platform of the APC.
Yeah. Shaibu has a lot of.
Can Shaibu
win?
Do the same?
Yes.
In Edo State.
If he can, he's also.
He should go ahead.
It's not a matter of feeling. He should know.
Anyways, let me go to Ondo State lawmakers yesterday have directed the Deputy Director, Lucky Ayedatiwa, to respond to allegations that's been leveled against him as part of the impeachment process. They insisted on progressing with the process without consideration for a court ruling trailing it. They made the allegations public. They said, number one, he needs to respond to the allegations concerning corrupt enrichment and waste of public funds, making false allegations against Governor Rotimi Akeredolu's health in the media, undermining the power, undermining the governor and causing disaffection, working at cross purposes with the governor, spending 5.4 million to buy tires and batteries for his convoy vehicles, using his position to enrich himself through unreasonable release of land for his personal use, purchasing automatic transmission box for Lexus SUV staff car as acting governor for 10.5 million naira. So many other allegations here. I mean, these are just quite interesting. I was governor for like 2 days.
The court
and he has already been accused of.
The court ruled against his impeachment process happening.
This is just these are the lawmakers in their own house trying to say he must first of all respond to the allegations before they now bring this issue.
Okay, I have the story of the president has approved the procurement of 12 attack helicopters for the Nigerian Army. This was announced by the Chief of Army Staff, Taoreed Lagbaja, at the maiden Nigerian Army Aviation Seminar yesterday. This is good. I don't know the cost of the 12 helicopters, but I know that they need it.
Okay.
Especially in Zamfara.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our reviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ikechukwu Sunday Okonkwo, aka Cross. Now your intro without
Wow.
So there's a name that thing that's.
I'm just drinking because you say I should drink. There's no particular answer.
You think it's only that can be wicked?
What's the answer?
Subterfuge.
Eh?
Yeah. They claim you did. But you said it just happened. That
And it's called what again?
subterfuge.
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 So you look me finish from head to toe. You look at a person who go know what to become such. Yeah.
The nude wasn't like a game plan. Or...
I promise you, it was actually a mistake. Like it was sending it to someone, and it just mistakenly just went that.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abi?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing papers, moving on now to Punch. OPS, that's indefinite strike, OPS kicks as Labour vows to shut down airports and others on Tuesday. Edo Malud, prayer for Nigeria, Tinubu tells Muslims. We pray for Nigeria, Tinubu tells Muslims. Landlord baths 11-year-old with hot water. INEC unveils Edo polls timetable. Cardoso to clear dollar debts, suspend intervention loans. Fuel, car, others imports gulp $46 billion annually, says federal government. Okay, let me start with the major headline. The federal government has invited organized labor to a meeting in the last-minute bid to stop their planned October 3rd strike. The unions had come together, declared an indefinite strike with effect from Tuesday to protest the alleged failure of the federal government to provide post-subsidy palliatives for workers. But the Ministry of Labour, Employment and Productivity assured Nigerians it will meet the leadership of the unions before they shut down the economy. So the spokesperson of the Labour Ministry, that's Olajide Oshundun, said the meeting scheduled for Tuesday will be centered on the pronouncement that will be made by President Tinubu on October 1st Independence Day broadcast. According to him, they expect the president to state categorically what will be done concerning palliatives. He said that the Minister of Labour had met with them and said that Oshundun noted that the second major demand was the wage award for workers, which the Labour said that will help in mitigating the effects of the subsidy removal, that they will avert the strike if indeed the president is able to meet their demands from his speech on October 1st. So they're actually waiting for that speech to know if indeed the president has considered all their demands. And hopefully if that happens, they can then shelve the strike. If not, they're definitely going to go on strike on 3rd of October. And I think other organizations are actually kicking and saying that they need to continue to dialogue with the president and so they don't shut down the economy as a plan on their strike.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a human interest story. A landlord identified Michael allegedly poured hot water on an 11-year-old girl, identified as Princess. So the incident happened Saturday in Mowe, Obafemi, Owode local government area of Ogun State. And after the incident, the sister of a tenant in the house, was the one who now narrated the story to the police. So according to her, said that even her sister wants to pack out of that house because she's afraid that one day the landlord will come and beat all the tenants, the way the landlord has been beating this particular girl, that every time they hear her screaming in the middle of the night, this man will be flogging her using cane, belts, different types of beating. And this young girl, that's Princess, is actually his daughter from an estranged wife. So he's been maltreating her over and over. The other time they asked him what happened, he said the girl refused to go to school and decided to beat her. So on this particular incident, the girl said she was hungry, she and her brother. So they went to tell the man that they were hungry. The man said, okay, put water on the stove. And he started beating her. When the water was boiled, he carried the water and poured on her, But the police has arrested him. He's in custody now. Investigations are going to follow. The girl has been released from the hospital. I think these sort of men or women who maltreat, they are not okay, definitely. They need to be taken care of and treated properly so that, and I like the fact that the tenants were crying out for this young girl. We can't see things like that and remove our face.
And that's the bunch.
I do. So INEC has fixed September 21st, 2024 for the Edo State governorship election. We'll see Philip Shaibu will be running, and that of Ondo State will be held November 16, 2024. And the electoral body said that this is in line with the constitution that stipulates that election into said offices shall be held not earlier than 150 days and not later than 30 days before the expiration of the tenure of the last holder of the office. They said the governorship election in Edo State is Saturday, 21st, 2024. Primaries will hold February 1st to 24th, 2024, while submission of the list of nominated candidates via the online portal will start 9 a.m. March 4th, 2024 and close at 6 p.m. on March 24, 2024. And then the final list of candidates will now be published April 3rd, while the campaign in public by political parties will commence April 24th, ends 24 hours prior to the election day, which is September 19, 2024. And also for Ondo State, the same process. The governorship election will be held Saturday, November 16, 2024. Primaries also April 6 to 27 of that year, 2024. Submission of the list of nominated candidates via the online portal will start 9 April 29 and close 6 p.m. May 20th, all in 2024. So,
okay, another story.
The special advisor to the president on economic affairs, Tope Fasua, talked about the number of bureau de change operators in Nigeria, asking the federal government, the CBN governor, to reduce the over 5,000 bureau de change operators in Nigeria to 200. And in the same story, he also talked about how Nigeria spends about 45 billion annually importing refined petroleum products, milk, chemicals, fish, and among others, and cars. And he's saying that, you know, here the issue of scarcity of forex and how we all scamper for it is what is also coming back to affect Naira. Asking the CBN governor again to do something about that.
Okay, moving on now to Daily Sun. Tinubu moves to stop Chicago University. FG begs for more time as Labour meets to decide on indefinite strike. Seeking investors abroad waste of time, says Peter Obi. No cause for alarm over fire incident, says Supreme Court. Tension in Benue as gunmen abduct commissioner and ex-LGA chairman. Ex-Kano Emir Sanusi hits APC hard, says government under ruling party has set Nigeria 40 years backwards. And tribunal dismisses Jandor Rosevival petitions, affirms Sanwo-Olu's election. Any story in Daily Sun?
Yes, I have a story where the university confirms rescue of 13 students and 3 others. It was in the front page as well. So the Federal University Gusau Fugos in Zamfara yesterday confirmed the rescue of 13 students and 3 others who were abducted by gunmen September 12th. The university confirmed the development through their verified Twitter handle at official Fugos. And it was a remarkable turn of events, according to them. They said 16 individuals, 13 students, 3 laborers have regained their freedom, and that was thanks to the courageous efforts of the military. They also extended their heartfelt gratitude to God for granting them the strength and resilience to, you know, endure the ordeal. And the rescue operation was conducted by dedicated members of the military. They tried as much as possible to, you know, show their unwavering commitment to the safety of their citizens. There was also the report that the Joint Task Force Operation Hadiri Daji had earlier rescued 6 female students of the institution who were among the unspecified number of students abducted September 22. The female students were abducted from their rented hostels at Sabongida, about 200 meters from the university campus. The government also abducted 9 construction workers of a company, engineering services, and, you know, they were there in the university to execute a project. But we thank God that these people have been, you know, rescued.
Okay, so the 3-person panel presided over by Justice Arum Ashum throughout the election petition filed by the Labour Party candidate Rosevival and the PDP candidate Jandor at the last elections for lacking merit. in fact, threw out the two petitions for what they call lacking merit. The tribunal also said that all the issues filed by the PDP in this tribunal, before the tribunal, were all pre-election matters, and that they lack jurisdiction to entertain such. So the Labour Party candidate Roosevelt has said that they erred in law, and he will be seeking an appeal at the appeal court.
Any story? So, okay, let's move on now to Vanguard. NLC, TUC start nationwide indefinite strike. Let's see. Reduce fiscal deficit by 3% of GDP, IMF tells Nigeria and others. National security remains precarious amid numerous successes. NGE commends Southeast governors on security initiative. Senate clears Cardoso, 4 others as CBN governor and deputy governor. Government shoot 3 Nasarawa police students, abduct 1. Live well, be happy. Death calls on us daily. Reflections on human flourishing in Nigeria. We didn't mandate anyone to negotiate with bandits, defense minister. We are committed to fighting illicit drugs, says Tinubu. Insecurity, FG boosts army operations with attack helicopters. And yeah. Okay, which story? In Vanguard, anybody?
No.
Not yet.
On anyone.
All right, so let's take Tribune. Major headline, Tribune, the Nigerian Tribune. How forex issues, inflation will be tackled, says CBN governor. Afenifere laments worsening insecurity. INEC fixes September, November 2024 for Edo, Ondo, Guba. Over 48 medical doctors kidnapped in 2 years, says NMA. Court stops impeachment of Ondo deputy governor. We have proof federal government holding secret talks with hand bandits, says Zamfara government. NLC TUC to begin indefinite strike October 3rd. Poor kitten. How state officials deceived me after collecting 20 million naira for games, says Oyebanji. Coroner's inquest into Mohbad's death begins on Friday. And that is all we can take on Front Page Review today. Let's go on a break. When we return, we want to the hot topic of the day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ladies and gentlemen, multiple award-winning actor, producer, ambassador of Edo People, we have Etinosa Idemudia in the building!
Not be first to go police station, they win the case.
So
you are showing
yourself. I go see as my second
you are
question.
feeling like a contact the prancing peacock. I'm about to cut your wings. Hello? Now, in the amalgamation of 1914, who was the woman who drew the line of the amalgamation? Who cut the report? Who is the person that used scissors? What is his name?
That woman.
That
Yeah, drink.
You have done me dirty. I've marked your face. I've marked your face. If anything happened to me today,
I don't
if I don't reach my house. Anyway, I'm gonna be chauffeured, so.
You remember now, Avi? Yeah, but you never too thin. Now you remember.
Hey.
If a person who indulges habitually in watching a sexual material is called a voyeur.
That's what they're called.
You clearly say you don't go even get the next one.
Hey, a voyeur.
Voyeur.
Then go on.
What is a person who makes one
A
called?
voyeur. A voyagist. A bon voyage.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the grand comedian of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Gbenga Adeyinka the First. OJ right here, 7 of 7, like you already know.
Gbenga right here, 7 of 7, like I'm beginning to know.
It's now time for the questions.
You don't scare me one bit. Bata, I go drink. So.
Okay. So now one chance for enter. My first question. Do you remember the names of the winners of that edition of StarQuest?
Of course I do.
Why do you?
And I hate myself for this. Because I have this question for you. Final question. No. Where outside Nigeria and what year? I think you're the only one that can be wicked.
I am thinking because I know back in the day.
Don't think. Answer my question quick. You are thinking too much. I don't like it.
The UK.
Final answer. Okay. I said, God, please, let me to perform outside Nigeria.
Wait.
And God gave me a show in Ghana. Drink, my friend, drink.
Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to our sponsor segment. Joining us on the show now is the CEO of Davidola Nigeria Limited, founder of Davidola Farms, Mr. Segun Alabi. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
Have you? So, what does Davidola do exactly?
Davidola is a pineapple farm management. We help people to own pineapple farm, manage it for them. Because right now, pineapple is a gold mine. If you have one plot of pineapple farm now, just go and sleep.
For real?
Yeah.
So why the interest in pineapple?
Because of the technology advancement, there's a lot of things that you can derive from pineapple now. Okay. You can make diaper from pineapple. You can make plastic from pineapple. You can even make clothes from pineapple. So it's not just, I want to do juice, I just want to do smoothie. So the value chain in pineapple is increasing every day by day. And for the fact that we know what the dollar is today. We know what it was 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 2 years ago. And because of that increase, and because not all the land in Nigeria can actually plant pineapple. So many Nigerians depend on Cotonou to bring pineapple to Nigeria. And as at today, naira to saver is 1,550 naira. So if you have one save to change 1,000, to change one saver, now you need to have additional 550 naira.
On top of your 1,000?
On top of your 1,000.
Hey.
So how do you help people achieve, investments in pineapple?
Now, last 24 months ago, when I came here, the pineapple, 1 acre of pineapple farmers at that time was being sold for 4.8 million naira. That time, so many people don't believe what is going to happen. Some people were skeptical. But as at today, the same 1 acre is going for 9 million naira. Which is why, because we want everybody to be partake of this and own this. Because like I said, if you have 1 plot of pineapple farmland now, you are good to go. And that's why we okay, people might not have 9 million naira. Now let us just divide it into plots. So with 1.5 million, you can own 1 plot of pineapple farmland. And last time when I came here, we've not even cleared the bush there. But today, the pineapple is already fruiting. In fact, in a couple of weeks now, we start harvesting the one we planted 2 years ago. So what you are even buying now, you are buying already made pineapple farm, not just bush or ordinary land.
Let me understand you. Can you help me take it slowly? Okay. So I'm listening. Somebody's listening to you is wondering, do I need to have my own farmland and have my own pineapple, grow my pineapples on the farm, or do you have a piece of land or property and you have pineapples on it already, and I'll just come with my money, and then when I bring my money, what happens?
Okay, we have our pineapple farm estate. Okay. Located at the back of Olabisi Onabanjo Main Campus University at Goiwe. Okay. Now that farm estate now, we've portioned it into plots. So when you come with your 1.5 million naira, then you get a plot. It's just like you are buying a house, but this one now is a pineapple farmland. So everything belongs to you. Okay. And we help you manage.
So the pictures, that's your farm?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So you're saying that pineapples can be made into these products?
Yes.
In Nigeria, I mean, so
we don't have that machine in Nigeria now. But it's one of those things that Davidola is actually working towards. Okay. But there's a company. Can I say that? Can I let people know where the company is? There's a company. There's a company in Manila. When you, for example, now, yes, in Philippines, they process the leaf into fiber, into shoe. That when you are wearing shoe, you're just wearing pineapple. And these are the opportunities that we have in our country. Say, what we have in Nigeria is more than enough. We don't have to.
So Nigerians don't see pineapple as a raw material, not food.
They just see it as just like people see cow skin as pomo, but the value in it is much more than pomo.
I love that, and I like that your company has provided this. So what do you do exactly when you harvest pineapples? Do you export that and give the returns of investment to, or do you just process it to something here? Okay,
what we do, we have companies who take from us. Okay. And apart from company, there's also open market. Just like if any marketer, as of this morning, just heard that, oh, there's pineapple somewhere in fact, one person will tell you, if the farm is about 1,000 hectares, don't worry, please don't tell anybody. Yes. I'll be coming to come out because it's cheaper than you moving to Cotonou to go and buy.
Okay. Now, when it comes, people are listening to you and think, okay, so you say you have an estate, and people can buy little portions of it. Yes. But there's always issue of farmers' insecurity. How do I ensure that the produce would not be disrupted by farmer clashes?
Okay, if you are following me, like I said, we came here 2 years ago, and we still come today. This is an assurance that everything is going well. Now, one good thing about pineapple is that cow doesn't even eat pineapple.
That's true.
Thank God.
So there's no, two or 3 weeks ago, goat doesn't eat it. So where your farm is secure. There's no any henchman or any wala or any money, nothing like that. 2 weeks ago, somebody called me and said, I have about 1,000, close to 1,000 hectares of land at the north. And he said he wants to do corn. I said, see, if you give me 10 billion, I won't do that. Because I don't want a story that touches the heart in the long run. That you say, oh, you want to do it. And at the end, I won't be able to deliver what I have promised.
Yeah.
So in pineapple, we've been in pineapple for a while now, and why we are still stick to this is because if there may be delays sometimes, there may be, but you know that where this money is, it will definitely come out. We've heard about a lot of things that has happened in Nigeria where people just jackpot with people's money. Why? Because what they have invested that money into, there is no coming back. Okay, you put money in a cassava now, and cow is eating that cassava. Where will the person pay you back? No. So when there is no source of coming back of that money, then there's trouble.
I remember interviewing you 2 years ago when you talked about how cows don't eat pineapple.
Yes.
And I'm wondering, how long is the duration of the growth if you say that your pineapple is now fruiting?
Okay, the duration of the growth is between 14 to 16 months.
Okay.
We delayed this to this point in time because there was a little cash crunch that wasn't coming out as at Wendy. So we have to delay the fruit because there are things to do in pineapple to make it come out at the time you want it. But even with that, we know that the cost of production in the last 12 months has not been the same. Imagine that, okay, pineapple, you are thinking, okay, we're going to spend about 5 million naira on this, and you're now ending up spending about 6 million naira. So there are things that you just have to, okay, which one can wait, which one can go. So you have to look at your choice and make the best decision.
So you know that especially here, we're always asking for Cotonou pineapple. It's sweeter, it's juicier, it's whatever. This pineapple, how can you describe it in relation to the Cotonou one?
Okay, now we have 3 types of pineapple. We have MD2, we have Cayenne, and we have Sugarloaf. If I will tell people, it is not best for you to eat Sugarloaf because the acidity and the high sugar content in it. In fact, in international markets, they don't take Sugarloaf at all. But it's just this part of the world that we are still eating. If it is not, no, go down. I can't take that. So the best to go for is actually a smooth Cayenne. But for people who do juice and some concentrate, let me tell you, we are also working on something. The first concentrate company in the whole of West Africa, which we are going to be taking more pineapple. So that one is on the pipeline. So if we get that one done and all these leaves, so from the fruit to the leaf to
this is what we're talking about, sustainability.
So that is we are working on. In fact, if we are to go by our forecast by now, that company should have been operating in Nigeria.
I observed that I saw names on the video. So it's like when people buy the land, you put their names.
Yeah, we put their name there.
Okay, so that I know that this is my own land.
This is my own land. Yeah. This one belongs to me. It does not matter where you are in any part of the world. There are some people they've not even been to Nigeria for about 20 years, and they stay like this person now. It's not in Nigeria.
And they still get their return.
Yes, and they still get it. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to buy the land and the money is not complete, is there any package how you can?
Yes, one of the package we have is you can make deposit of 500,000 naira. Okay. Then the remaining 1 million you spread within the next 3 months. But I want to give that's something just came to my mind now. Between now and Friday, when is the month ending? On Saturday. Between now and our first day of October, if the first 50 people, we are saying 1.5 million naira, and then you get a 36% as a rent. 36%. Because it's 36% as a rent, because it's your property. We are only helping you to manage it. But if you can make payment between now and first, that is independent.
Monday,
what's it called now?
Wednesday.
Yes, we want to give that as a bonus for everybody. The first 50 people, we'll give it to you at the rate of 1.3 million.
Discount.
Yes, discount.
Okay.
Between now and the first.
Is there a number they can reach you since the?
Yes, 0. If you are calling from outside tonight, the number is on the screen. 08116 464307. And you can also go to our Instagram to know more, because I know this time is too short to just say everything. So you can go to our Instagram handle, Davidola_farms. Davidola_farms, and you can ask any question you want to ask there.
So please let me ask a return question.
All right.
It's money business. We have to calculate. If you invest now, how long does it take you to get your returns, and how do you break the returns?
Okay. Now, let's say somebody make a payment today. Today is 27th of September 2023.
Yeah.
By 27th September 2024, you get your return.
Which is going to be
which is going to be 36% of what you are.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you're going to get that.
So every year I get it?
Every year you get that. You get it. In fact, I can say how this one to people, the first 50 people that we came in between now and the first day of October. We can even give them, in the next 6 months, give them 50% of their investment, of their returns. Yes. In the next, if you can, in the next 4 or 5 days, is another bonus.
It's supposed to be a continuous thing, but if a person wants to discontinue one of the purchases, how do you afford another person the opportunity of buying their already existing one?
Please, can you come back? Let me understand.
If a buyer is willing to or interested in letting go
to sell, okay.
And another person is interested in buying, is there that arrangement possible?
Yes, there's that arrangement. Last time when we came here, we make it 10 years agreement. That okay, we will help you manage it for the next 10 years. But now, because I know some people are okay, some people are already retired and they want to be going somewhere, maybe twice or 4 times in a week, depending. Now, we are making it to be 3 years. And within that time, okay, like 2 weeks ago, somebody called and said, Mr. Shegun, I actually need money. And then I know we have 10 years agreement. Please, can I sell? I said, there's no issue. But this is the last, when you bought this thing, it was 4.8 million naira. The value of this pineapple farm today is 9 million naira. Now, imagine what it's going to be in the next 10 years. So decide what you want to do. And after 3 days, the woman can say, please don't worry again. I've shot myself out because selling it now, it means I'm going to lose a whole lot. So I would rather leave it and let it continue. And
we have to wrap up with you, but let me just ask this final question. So, for example, if I'm an investor in your farm and maybe some company from Malaysia or which other country says, you know what, I need your raw materials for XYZ, and they told me come to talk to you, and you have this farm. So would you reach out to me, or I mean, how involved would me as an investor be in what you plan to do in the exportation or whatever, or production of the raw materials on pineapple?
Okay. Every question you had, there's answer to that. Okay. Was it January or March? I can't remember. There's a company that reached out to us from Egypt, and they said they need pineapple. Okay. That we should supply them, but our own is not ready yet. And then there are a lot of things to put in place. Now let's assume that a company reached out to us now, and already we have about 1,000 subscribers. So our own is, we make sure that we sell that farm and do everything that necessary. I mean, the fruit. Your own is to get your rent at the end of the year.
Okay. I get
at the end of the year, you get.
So in fact, whatever appreciation is on the money, you get.
No, if you talk about whatever appreciation on the money.
If you make bonus profits.
Of course, if you make bonus profit, we can still see things has gone up, and then the value is increasing. Okay, take this, but that is not a mandatory. Okay. Now, one of the things we
stick to your 36%.
Yes, 36. Yes. For example, like now this week, I think 2 days ago, yesterday, we send mail to all the people who own farm with us that see, this is the value of your land as such today. It gives someone's joy. You bought a house 12 months ago at 2,000, and today is 4,000. Then it gives you joy. I want to do more.
Okay, that's all we can take on this segment. Thank you very much. Is there anything you've missed out you want to say?
What I just want to say is, anybody who is an entrepreneur, there's downtime and there's uptime. In your downtime, don't lose hope. Do what you know how to do best. And before you know it, you're going to come out of it.
Fantastic.
And apart from, though I know that that's not what we are talking about here today, but apart from pineapple, we also do cocoa. So if there's anybody who want to buy cocoa.
Interested in cocoa.
Cocoa, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's all we can take on this segment. When we come back, move on to the next segment. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Made Kuti in the view. It's still 7 of 7, and we've been doing a whole lot of protesting. The only thing that remains is just to carry placard.
It's about 5 of 7, to be honest. Because, ask your question. I have so much to speak about once we finish.
We will not give you the time because it's 7 of 7.
I will make the time now. He said he will not ask questions about science.
No.
About neuroplasticity.
And based on,
he asked a question that was subjective about high life, and he did not finalize his answer about a Kuti question where there are only 3 of us.
Editor, scratch this part out.
That could have possibly composed the music.
Editor, scratch this part out.
Stupidity is an act of ignorance.
Hey God, Made.
Was composed by which Kuti?
Femi Kuti.
These are your 5 answers.
God, I'm Sheon Kuti. No, wait, Femi Kuti.
You said
Femi Kuti. Wait.
You can't be allowed.
No, you've not asked me anything.
Everyone.
You've not asked me anything. So my final answer.
No. All I have to say is this show is really about drinking.
Yeah, that's the whole idea.
The questions don't matter.
That's the whole
Justice
idea.
is out the window.
We throw caution to
we
the
have
wind
no
right
morals here.
On the 7 of 7.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw ether material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Thanks for staying with us. So during the presidential visit to the United States for the high-level meetings of the 7th session of the United Nations, one of the Nigerians in diaspora was seen trying to get the attention of the president, saying that the president should commodify the naira with cassava. We'll have the individual with us in a moment. His name is Mr. Ayodeji Bakare, popularly known as Bengali, and he'll be joining us in a moment. But first, what are your thoughts on this? Nigerians have had mixed reactions concerning the fact that our president has been going around trying to get foreign direct investment into the nation. Some have thought it was a great idea. Others are saying that, are you sure we need these people to come in, create industries, and still export the dollar back to their country? So there are different angles to this conversation. But when this man came up with the idea that, you know what, why don't we commodify cassava? Of course, the video went viral yesterday, but we've been bringing him on to even give us a clearer picture of what his proposition is. But in the meantime, let's have a conversation concerning it. You can call us on 081-07641-679-090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweet. What struck me more about this video is the fact that he's not one of those Nigerians that are just complaining. He seems to have actually thought through solutions. One of those people that say, I don't have access to this president, but if I can just catch him and just get a glimpse of him to tell him, this is my own idea. I don't have to do a document and send to your table and hope that somebody will give it to you. But back to let me send it to him. And then with this, our guest I just left, the pineapple guy, that's part of what this guy is saying, that we have produce in Nigeria that can actually be exported. What are your own thoughts on the video, and how do you think the government should react or respond to this?
Ayodeji Bakare, popularly known as Bongoli, was around during the election, and he clearly knew where his support was. He stood by this president and he supported his ambition to become president. But he didn't rest there. He's one of those who have ideas on what to do. I didn't think of it until I saw the video trending on Twitter yesterday. People abusing and saying, why didn't he use Agbado? Why didn't he use this? And then I went to, of course, Google things. And I saw that other countries have since moved out. The way petroleum has ensured that the dollar doesn't become a valueless currency. You know, and this arrangement was done in arrangement with the Saudi Aramco and using OPEC as a platform. We continuously trade our petroleum products in dollars, and you know, enriching the dollar, strengthening the dollar as against our money. Somebody is now bringing an idea of what else we can commodify that will give us. Other countries have done it. I saw Brazil, I saw Malaysia, and sadly Malaysia doesn't pay me well because it's palm oil. It's palm oil. The palm oil that was the strength of my region in the past, we did not even grow it. Now today, somebody else's country, sadly they said the fruit was taken from here today, but they've grown it, they've industrialized it, they've commodified it. And it's coming to say something that is common here should be used. And on Twitter, Nigerians is not sick to understand.
Before I let you go forward, before I come to you, Mariam, there was a point you said, which I forgot to talk about, the fact that many thought it was negative. They wanted it to trend, like the guy was disturbing president, was talking, so they had no clue. So for them it was just like, there's a guy that was saying that you should commodify. They had no idea what commodification was. Unfortunately for them, it's actually a good thing. So it went viral for the planning for the wrong reason was to let it go viral. But unfortunately, so what are your thoughts on this?
So for me, I feel that this is somebody that obviously is thinking about solutions. You know, many times we'll sit here and we say, we have heard the problems. They are not new to us. Can we hear solutions? And many times, some people that have come here as experts, when you try to hit them up on solutions, silence, you know. So it's good to find, I really like this conversation of where we're looking for solutions and how to do things better. So commodification of the currency as against cassava. I know nothing about cassava and how the exportation, the value is, you know, in the market. So if it is something that is that strong, so because you have to look for the commodity that has like a really high value, especially that is able to earn you foreign exchange, you know. So if it says cassava, I guess this would mean that the economics team will be sitting down looking at the different commodities, maybe even outside cassava, something that we grow exclusively or in very large quantities, that we export in very large quantities and earns us foreign exchange. And then government can now put in the necessary investment in that industry to earn us money. Because we are here struggling, you know, constantly to be able to have to make sure that the value of our currency is improved. And many of the policies that we have put out there, Nigerians are struggling with it. And really, we're just trying to see how do we earn more currency. And if I look at it, everything else that we have tried, like what other thing can we do that will earn foreign exchange in such a short period of time that it will make an impact for us positively? So this looks like something that should be discussed with him and with also the economic team and see how it can work for our country.
So when I saw the video, it just reminded me of that lady in the Bible who wanted to touch the hem of Jesus' garment. If I can just... The crowd was so much, she was pushing. If I can just touch the hem of his garment, I will get my miracle. And this has opened up a conversation that hopefully will give us a miracle. But this is not a new conversation. I remember during Obasanjo's time, he was big on cassava. I think he had some policies. I'm not very sure right now how far they went with those policies. We've always known that cassava was a commodity that would bring us foreign exchange, right? But I really do not know why his policies and plans were not in continuum, because he was already making, you know, some impact when it came to cassava. You see anybody who's selling land, we're planting cassava. It was a vibe. So for me, it's not a new conversation. It's just that now we need to ask ourselves, what do we have in our hands as Nigerians? The crude obviously has failed us, not because God has not replenished it, but because we have mismanaged it. There's a lot of stolen crude. Even when we catch the people who are stealing it, we blow it up. The one we're supposed to sell and make money, we can't refine ourselves. So we have made a mess of that natural resources. Now we have to start looking what other things can we do. That it's not just about government taking charge of it. We have seen how government will likely make a mess of it. But how can government partner with private people? This pineapple guy is a private person who's running a business. Are there any cassava farms? Are there anywhere we can empower farmers to go into this? It's not only cassava, cocoa. He mentioned cocoa here. He mentioned palm oil. Let's not just pick one product and just sit on it. Let's diversify. We are rich in natural resources. Our gold is being thrown away in places like Zamfara. Foreign people are coming there, illegal mining with helicopters. We know these things, but we're not ready. So let's open the conversation away from crude oil and see what we can do. And I hope that this miracle that we have, started suspecting would happen, that the people who, with the government, will not think because this is not coming from us, let us silence it. Because that's also another aspect that affects us.
Recently, my husband has a product he was trying to work on, and we had to go sit down with a company, an Indian company. And he was willing to work with us. He said, you know what, Nigeria has been good to us. We repatriate billions of dollars every year.
Our money.
Now, to him, he was trying to say that he's so happy that Nigeria has been here over 100 years. And he was saying it with pride. But me and my husband, we were really sad.
Did you see the picture of the grandfather, the father?
Yeah, we're quite sad. So your company, over 100 years old in this country, has been taking billions of dollars. We don't really focus on the fact that even almost all the major companies we have, many of them that are foreign,
Indians.
They are carrying this money, dollar out.
Yeah,
that's what's moving. We're now fighting that dollar naira is 1,000 naira. Why would it not be 1,000 naira? There's scarcity. Even the cable stations we have, many of these don't belong to us. The phones, what they call it, the companies we have, some of them are not Nigerian.
Even
so they carry the revenue out.
Yeah.
They don't even bring the dollar here so that we do any kind of exchange. We still do not have dollar. The only commodity that brings dollar in is our petroleum. And this world order, whatever that that professor explained to us, ensures that it is traded in dollars. So it doesn't enrich us. We have the resources, but it's not going to empower our people. Yesterday, my neighbor was complaining that everything is expensive. Everything. Nigerians are suffering. And they were saying, are we going to continue like this? And I said, sadly, we are going to continue like this because we don't have anything to exchange for this so-called currency that is superior to everything. But what Ayo is saying is, when I checked out cassava is the root for most things. Spirits, beer, beverages, so many. You can get so many resources from cassava. That's why when Obasanjo tried to float it, they started with cassava flour. To ensure that we have cassava baking. They popularized it. This agency was working. I'm trying to remember the name. Was working. They were doing the adverts on TV, encouraging people to stop from the regular wheat flour to cassava flour as an alternative. And we know that when we export this thing, we then insist this is the currency for trading. It doesn't come under this so-called world order. Except our people are still looking, to buy, to import foreign tastes and, elite products that we usually source dollar for. But if we insist, the naira will eventually start to gain strength. That's the good for me. That's the only thing I want to see. I want to live a lifetime where people would respect the naira again. And if we can do that with commodifying...
So I'm told the Bengali is on standby. Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll discuss with Mr. Bakare. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Just the 7 of 7. My name is OJ, and signing a sobriety into my hands tonight on the social experiment called the 7 of 7 is Owen G. What is the name, or what was the name? You see, I want to make them better now.
Rock Heart.
No, of the goats when they brought it on stage.
The name of that goat.
Yeah.
We should go there.
No, that one easy now.
I'm just drinking this so that I can ask him my own questions. It's not because of
Buga.
He didn't get it. You know. Okay. Mention 10 female stand-up comedians in Nigeria. See, just mention their stage name. If you annoy me, you will mention their real names and the year they started. And if you annoy me further, you mention the names of their husbands and the names of their children. Try me now. Okay, mention their name.
No, let's just.
No, wait. No, don't. No.
Even
name, real name, stage name, husband name, children name. 10 of them.
Even the 10. That's a lot.
Eh?
That's a lot.
Did I cut your question for you?
Yes.
When you were happy now. With your hunchback.
That was it.
You are wasting time. We don't have time. See, my brother, before we go on a commercial break, you are stubborn. And I told you since. The fact that you play this your hair does not mean. You understand? See this bad hair you are looking at. It's experience. I've suffered before you.
But I try now.
When you there during the military era of Abacha and Babangida, you know what happened?
I be Gen Z.
So that Gen Z, I will remove 4 out of 10.
That's like
4 out of 10 they pass exam. Don't drink this thing. Where baby you are on here? Drink out. If I land you.
Ladies and gentlemen, make welcome the one who can make time stand still forever, Mr. Kelechi Amadi. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, my brother.
You love that intro, Abby?
Yeah. It was great.
Okay,
Thank you.
We try like that.
Thank you.
Now my question, which I feel is a cheap question.
Oh, go ahead.
What does ISO stand for?
That is it. I think I'll drink.
No, you're joking.
I'm not joking.
Kelechi Amadi. No. Shay, you didn't whine me. You're whining me now.
I think I'll drink.
Huh?
No problem.
Okay.
I've always known it as ISO. I never bothered to know what it means. I know what it means, but I never bothered to know what the acronym is. Tell me the brand of camera that I use, so much so that I even became an ambassador. That's very easy. It's out there.
It's supposed to be, yeah.
I just said, look, I give you this one as a token of my appreciation.
Sony.
Drink!
Wait, I'm not done. You did not say final answer.
Final answer.
You did not ask me if that was my final answer.
You don't have any choice again. It's only
Nikon.
how many cameras do they have? My
Nikon.
friend to drink. I gave you a very easy something.
Nikon now. Ladies and gentlemen, please help welcome to the show, La General, the one and only Pere Egbe. Which of the following is false about teeth? We are born with 20 primary teeth. Teeth are the hardest substance in the body. Teeth are the strongest bones in the body.
Teeth is not a bone, actually.
Teeth can self-repair.
The strongest bone in the body, no. Teeth is not a bone.
Final answer?
Thanks for staying with us. Now we have with us on the show Mr. Ayodeji Bakare. Good morning, Ayodeji.
Good morning, Morayo. Good morning, Nigeria.
Thank you for joining us this morning. So, you somewhat accosted the president in America. Uncle, why didn't you just write a letter to the president? Why did you feel the need to, enter into him while he was walking to share your thoughts? Tell us about that experience.
Well, I would say it's an opportunity of a lifetime, and I took the bull by its horn. I knew what I wanted to say specifically because we all can admit, we know that the Naira is faltering, and how can I fix that problem? And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to leave where I stay and go to New York and have just that 15 seconds I needed just 10 to 15 seconds to pass my information across, and I clearly stated those words, so it keeps on ringing a bell in the minds of the president and that of his team. Commodification
of the naira.
Naira.
Cassava.
And then that naira to be backed by cassava. Now, why am I saying cassava? I'm saying this because Nigeria produces about 25% of the global cassava, but we don't play internationally.
Oh.
We produce about...
Yikes. Hello? Ayodeji, we can't hear you. Oh, yikes. Hello? Okay, I think we're having...
National market.
You got... Ayodeji, we didn't hear you. All we heard was 25%. Hello? Ayodeji, you have to start over, please.
What did you say?
We didn't hear you. All we heard was Nigeria produces 25% of cassava globally, and we don't play internationally. That's all we heard. We didn't hear anything else. So please start over.
Okay. We actually produce 25% of the total cassava in the world. And that is about 63 to 65 million metric tons. Now, we don't play internationally. And we have the comparative advantage. And I'm like, why can't we trade cassava in the naira by playing internationally? Because if you look at Malaysia, for example, palm oil is traded in Malaysian ringgit because Indonesia and Malaysia are countries that produce the most palm oil globally. About 90% of the global palm oil, they produce it. And then you look at Brazil, Brazilian real, that is what is used to trade beef, which is selling for about 16 real per kg today as we speak. And then the dollar is used to trade crude oil. That's at $94 per barrel today. So I'm like, if Nigeria, because cassava is widely grown in Nigeria with little to no efforts per se. Yeah. I'm like, why can't we play in that atmosphere? And why can't we use that to stabilize the naira? Because it's related to monetary policy. This is monetary policy. I want the naira to be stable. Let me make this clear. I'm not really bothered about naira being strong or weak. Okay. I just want the naira to be stable so that it boosts investor confidence, both local and foreign investors. Thank you.
Yeah. So I like what you just said. We want the naira to be strong and reliable as well. But do you think that the issue we had with the crude oil, for instance, was because we're not able to properly position ourselves in the international market, or the fact that we allowed corruption? Because if there was no corruption, do you think we'll be where we are today? And how do you think also that we can, start to commodify this cassava and probably other produce without falling into the same trap we fell into with the crude oil?
Thank you very much. This is a very fantastic question. And I would say Nigeria suffered from what is called the Dutch disease. I repeat again, the Dutch disease in the 70s, where we stumbled upon lots of crude oil and we forgot about our manufacturing and our agriculture. And that was as a result of the Israeli and Arab war in the early 1970s, and they placed an embargo on Arab oil. And by that happening, we had lots of money, and the leader at the time said it's not about how much we make, it's a domino effect. It is not something that we're just going to wake up and say, hey, start trading. We have to show that we can produce that amount of cassava, because even though we have comparative advantage, we are doing, I would say, not so well or not so great in our yield. Currently, Nigeria's yield on cassava is about 10 metric tons per hectare. Now, we should be doing about 40 metric tons per hectare. Now, even if we're not doing so well or whatever, we should be doing 20, but we are doing 10. So we have to show that we can actually produce that amount of cassava. Cassava has lots of derivatives, which maybe during this conversation we'll get there. But we have to, we just have to ensure that we put all the necessary things in place to show that, yes, we have the capacity to produce it first. we have to produce the cassava first.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we can now say, okay, yes, we can play in the international, because the whole idea is to play in the international game.
Right. Okay. Let me get a few more questions for
we
you.
already have satisfied our.
Yeah, so, you know,
Go ahead.
From your response, really, it's like answering the question I was supposed to ask. And is that there's some things that we have to put on ground, before we can say we are trading internationally with this particular product. I mean, I just got some information that's saying that there's potential to earn annually 2.98 billion naira if we were to properly and invest in the cassava industry and see how it yields us money, and then the returns from it we can put into our refineries, So there's diversification and also earning enough money to be able to do other things. What do you think?
Now, one of the derivatives of cassava, one of the key derivatives is ethanol. For example, you can make ethanol from cassava, you can make ethanol from corn. Now, what is ethanol? Ethanol is basically liquor. And what is the liquor or the alcohol? Just add the ethanol with derivatives and sweeteners and all of that. Now, what you come to find out is that already, if we have that cassava coming in, or we're producing that much cassava, you would see a spawn of events whereby people will come and want to invest in refining that cassava into ethanol. And then we're going to have distilleries coming into Nigeria because the raw material is here. So rather than going to, because Nigeria spends about $300 million importing liquor, alcohol beverages and all of that annually. At least $300 million.
Wow.
So they are going to come and want to invest in Nigeria. Yes, they are going to come and want to invest in Nigeria because the raw materials is not readily available. So it is about refining the cassava into ethanol, because today ethanol sells for about $2.39 per gallon. We are not playing in the ethanol market worldwide. Ethanol can also be used for our petrol. We call it gasoline or petrol or fuel, where you add about 10% so that it can burn cleaner, and then it's going to help the environment. You have a cleaner environment, and as such, you are going to increase the lifespan of Nigeria. So it is just multifaceted of how this can work. So that's why I just gave the example of it. This is a revolution. It could be our agriculture. It could be our revolution that we've been talking about. It is. Let us not. I understand sesame seeds, corn, and so many. Because wheat, for example, because wheat is a competitor. Nigeria imports 99% of its wheat, and that is why when there is any issue as regards wheat, you're like, oh, the people that are producing bread are going to increase our prices. Everything is all going up and everything is all expensive. But what about the wheat blending with the cassava flour? That will bring down the price. So it's a domino effect.
Right. Let me get a few more questions.
I hope I'm able to use the narrative to answer your question.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Mr. Ayo, let me be formal. Some people will argue that the country needs dollars, and whether we trade cassava in dollar or naira doesn't matter, because what they want is dollars to offset this dollar debts that we have across the country. Our airlines are shouting, foreign airlines are shouting that Nigeria has not paid back some of the dollars that they've used to trade to come here to work and all of that. How would you respond to those who say it doesn't matter whether naira or dollar, let's just trade and get the foreign the FX that we need?
Now, thank you for this particular question. It's a very philosophical and psychological question, in the sense that the people that are talking this way, respectfully, are still thinking from an importation mindset. We have to get off that and start thinking exportation, because when you keep worrying about Forex, we need Forex. What do you need Forex for? You need Forex to import, for the most part. That is like, it could be educational tourism, it could be buying materials into the country. But now imagine when there's a demand for our naira. Imagine when our naira is boosting investor confidence. So an investor looks at it and says, oh, they're trading in naira here. I like this currency. The currency is stable. Because let me say something here. According to the Big Mac Index, Naira should be trading for between 650 and 700 Naira. That is the true value of the Naira today. And the Minister for Finance or the Ministry of Finance at CBN can agree with me on this. It is 650 to 700 Naira. That is the true value of the Naira. What we are seeing today is the artificial scarcity. We are seeing currency speculation. We are seeing round tripping. A lot of people have lost confidence in the Naira, so they are going to go and mop up the dollar.
Yeah.
And that is jacking up the prices. Yeah. So I would say, in this case, imagine people demanding our Naira. We want to go and buy cassava globally. We have to change that our currency into Naira to buy that cassava. We want to sell. We are the ones selling Naira, so it's going to come free. So look at it that way. Imagine crude oil being sold in Naira, and tell me how that would do to our economy. Now say, okay, it's crude oil. Now remove the crude oil, even though they start with C, the letter C. Now put cassava there. Now let's begin to think that way. Cassava industry already is about 50 billion, and they predict that in the next 20 to 30 years, it's going to go to hundreds of billions of dollars. So this is the time to start planning to play in that market. Right. We have the comparative advantage, and that's why I said cassava. Thank you.
Bangali, let me come to the critics of the president who have said that going around looking or shopping for FDI is not the right approach, because many believe that when they come into the country, they're likely to, even probably if their revenue is likely to, they're going to ship out their revenue back to the individual countries. That he shouldn't be looking for FDI. The fact that he's going around to India, UAE, having a conversation with them, even to the US, talking to all these big companies. Do you think that is wrong? His supporters are saying, however, even though they might not come in with the FDI, but it's important for the Nigerian posture to tell to the international community that they are ready for business. That it's not like business is not like before, how there was corruption and all that. That he is here for business. So what do you think? What do you make of his plan or his strategy of getting foreign direct investment into the country from these various countries?
Okay, so now let us look at it this way. What is FDI? FDI is foreign direct investment. What is LDI? Local direct investment. It's just saying, if I want to do business, I want to make profit. Just think of it like, oh, I want to go into an air business, I want to go into a car business. You put money into it, you want to make profit. FDIs just want to make profit. But we need the funds, we need the finance of the FDIs to create jobs for Nigerians. Because they cannot create jobs. The government can only create an enabling environment through security, through infrastructure, the right policies, the right regulation, and working on our multiple taxation. So those are the things that the government will do to improve ease of doing business and attract investors. We need those investors. I want him to go out there and go and source for more money. Okay, now we are complaining that we don't have dollars, we don't have forex. Where do you think the forex will come from? It's going to come from foreign direct investments. It's going to come from foreign portfolio investments. It's going to come from grants. It's going to come from the diaspora, and it's going to come from exports. So I disagree with the people. I understand where they're coming from, but I disagree with them when you're saying that they're critiquing why it's going for looking for FDIs, looking for investors. We need investors. Companies don't just spring up from nowhere. We need them to bring their money to come and do business in Nigeria. Remember, it is when value is added to a raw material or a semi-finished good that jobs are created. You add value, and the investor is going to come in and definitely is going to be adding value to whatever material or product is making or manufacturing. And that is why I believe it's on the right track. Go to the UAE, go to the US, go to Europe, go to Australia, like when I spoke with the minister, Dele Alake, I think the next day, we talked about solid minerals. We talked about a bunch of very different things, and especially solid minerals. We're seeing what he's doing, exchange, that is educational programming with Nigeria and Australia, because Australia is really big in mining. By doing that also, you are trying to say also Nigeria is also open for business. Now, it is just, we're a market. People come and buy our market. Yeah. That's it pretty much. Bring your money, come and buy our market. That's it.
Yeah, so some persons have said that we are trying to jump the gun. by not handling the most important issues first, which is insecurity. We know that we have a bit of food scarcity in some parts of the country right now because farmers have been sacked from their farms. Everybody is relocating, they are being kidnapped, they are being killed. So even if we say let's bring back this cassava, the farms that are going to be used for the cassava planting will require locals to handle that sort of, production. And if we don't sort the insecurity issues, we may still end up in having the same problem and not getting any headway. If a farm, no matter the technology that's deployed there, the mechanisms that are used there, and people are not ready to work because they're afraid of their lives, we may not be able to get anywhere. What do you think about it?
Eat cassava.
Yes, and cows eat cassava as well.
Okay, thank you very much for this question. This is a very sensitive question. And to the the ladies that were kidnapped in Zamfara, our thoughts and prayers are with you all and your families, and we hope that we are rescued. Now, to the case of insecurity. Insecurity is caused majorly by not having the right education, not having the right employment. Those are the two major reasons why you have insecurity. And maybe not having enough social welfare programs, basically. Those are the three things here. Now, we've always been bedeviled with these issues. I really don't want to dwell on them because most Nigerians already know that we have this insecurity problem. Now, it is how do we solve this insecurity problem? Now, there are two ways of solving the problem. You have administrative solutions and engineered solutions. These people causing the insecurity, you have to bring them to the table. Now, let me give an example. This is just my idea. It may not work at all, but I hope the government is listening to me. We talk about banditry in the north, for example. Banditry majorly is caused by this illegal mining. I say it any and everywhere. You can say it, some certain people fighting against themselves for, for ethnic reasons and all of that. But it is basically that illegal mining. Why don't you call these guys that are doing this illegal mining, that are the bandits and all of that, tell them, go and create a company. Be the middleman. Let's formalize you. Let's formalize you. Let's beautify you. Go and create your own office and be the middleman. Drop your arms. You may have solved that problem by telling them, drop your arms. We know you are doing this. Well, create a company. Now, the engineered solution, obviously, is using force. We need more education. We need to provide employment for these people. Now, with that being said, even with the arable land that we have, how many people are actually farming? Well, all right. How many of us are actually farming? No, true. Let us look at places that are not in this security,
right?
Red security areas and all of that. The places that are green. Have we maximized the potentials of these areas?
Right.
Let's maximize the potential.
Unfortunately, Bongali, I have to cut you at this time. We've run out of time. Our next guest is already on standby. I do apologize, but we need to bring you back on because I think there's so much we can still engage you on to discuss. Maybe we'll bring you as often as possible. But it was really, really nice of you to join us this morning. I know it's still 4 a.m.ish where you are. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you so much. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Go back to sleep now, sir.
All right, let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we're bringing another guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
So, have you ever wondered what happens behind the curtains of a man's mind? Or perhaps you're one of those who wonder what men talk about when they gather. Well, here goes. Imagine what it takes to put together the perfect cocktail. Or maybe mocktail. We need a bit of sports, a sprinkling of current affairs, some very deep topical issues, and last but not the least, a healthy dose of grumbling of those we love to hate. And yes, you guessed it, women. So, if you catch the drift, then you're onto something. We will provide you with the right insights into most of your curiosities, right here within this beautiful cocktail we call the Black Table.
Ladies and gentlemen, multiple award-winning actor, producer, ambassador of Edo people, we have Etinosa Idemudia in the building!
Thanks for staying with us. So the Delta State government, through the Office of the Human Trafficking and Illicit Drugs, raided a popular hotel along New Road in Sapele and a brothel at Oguaja area in its effort to ensure the drug-free society in Sapele. There was a video that went viral showing sex workers, alleged sex workers, as well as suspected drug found in the hotel and also in the brothel. Now, the video had gone viral and many had condemned the manner in which the girls were interrogated by the police. To give us more clarity on what happened, we have with us the DSP, Bright Edafe, PPRO, Delta State Police Command, will be with us. Good morning, sir. Are you there?
Good morning. I'm here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. So, could you give us an idea of what happened with this raid at the brothel?
Not trained to treat people that way. So the DPO made me to understand that the man actually went there with vigilante, which I requested for his number and called him, and he also confirmed it. Though he was bitter about it because I told him those girls too, they have their rights, and you can't even record them and put it on social media. We are still on it. That matter has not been put to rest because I also discussed that issue with the CP this morning, and the CP has said he would invite the SSA drugs for further questioning on that incident, especially to see that such occurrence does not repeat itself.
Help me understand. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, please help us understand. Was this a police raid or was this an individual that took police or other security operatives to the brothel?
There is a task force. The task force sets up against drug and sex work. So that task force drugs. So he was the one who went there task force to that place.
So it's still government. A task force empowered by government to carry out raids.
You know, in Delta State, we have, this issue of is around the government is not happy about it. So the task force set up by the state government to go against serious drug abuse and also sex working. So that task force is being held.
This is what we're rushing for.
If I can hear you clearly, sir, the governor set up a task force to clear out, some of these vices popular now in Delta State, including drugs, prostitution, and all of that. And so that task force carried out the raid.
Exactly.
Okay, but do they have a code of conduct on how to carry out these raids?
I believe they do, but I called them yesterday to that's not the way to.
We're having trouble hearing you properly. It's really difficult to listen to what you're saying. But I think we get an idea. So he's saying it's not the police However, he's still saying that the police is concerned about what happened and they're trying to review how it was done. Many Nigerians were concerned about how the girls were being asked their age and all, even though they are, and
what is most annoying is how their faces were shown. They could have, paraded them, but because it's not police, of course, I want to believe these people don't have the proper training. They could have paraded them, facing the wall and interrogating them if they must. But putting the cameras in their faces is a long-term damage to their personality. I don't support prostitution, neither do I support any immorality. I'm just saying, what if they change their lifestyle tomorrow and they want to move on with their lives? What you have done is damage the chances of having a life at all, because you've put their faces. I see.
No, I'm even wondering.
Well, since he's still on the phone, could you tell us? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I just
want to ask a question.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted to also know the task force. Are they just allowed to also parade whoever it is that they arrest? Are they allowed to do that? And
they were not even parading. I just believe that they were just being overzealous. Because after that operation, they took the girls to Sapele police station.
Okay.
Because they know that they don't have the power to prosecute them if there is any reason for them to be prosecuted. They took them to Sapele police station. But what I see there is that members of the task force and the vigilantes who accompanied them were just being overzealous, not knowing their rules of engagement. They were not parading them. They don't have the right to parade them.
Okay, so now that they were overzealous and they paraded them, what will happen to the task force? How would you handle it so that this does not happen again? Because where there's no law, there's no sin.
Exactly why I said the SSA trust will meet with the TP today on that issue. We have already extended an invitation to him to come and answer to what transpired.
Okay, so what's the actual modus operandi for stuff like this? Because we know it is in the government's interest to protect citizens from drug abuse and all this illicit activity. So when they want to raid, what exactly is the procedure supposed to be like?
First, they are supposed to go in company of policemen.
Okay.
They are supposed to be assisted by policemen who understand the rules of engagement.
Okay.
Then after arresting them, take them to the nearest police station, do a proper screening, and those that are found culpable will be charged to court. Why? Before I became a PRO, we've been doing that. There was a time where about 15 of them spent their Christmas and New Year in the prison. So it has been happening, but it has to be done properly.
Right. Okay, thank you so much. We just wanted to get clarity on that because that video was quite disturbing. But let me let you go, PRO. Thank you very much for joining us. But I'd like to hear your own views on this because this is not the first time we're seeing things like this. And we need to talk more about it to get people to stop this parade, especially some of them look like they're underage. Is it me? Or?
Okay, so we know brothels are bad business, immoral business, and they are operated across board. But somebody can be unlucky and find themselves stranded, and that's the place to sleep. Because they are humans, they could have just been rendering help to one of the girls who slept there, who wasn't expecting a raid to happen. You put a camera in their face and you slap them, you demean them in your language. We as a people, even if it wasn't, this was a task force empowered by the governor in Delta State, according to the PRO now. This was we should be human, arrest them. If there's a law against prostitution, arrest them. If there's a law against operating a brothel, why is there a brothel in Delta State in the first place?
And who are those visiting the brothel?
I know brothels for Odojo Road. They plenty where. So if there's a law against it, and I know there are laws against it, but nobody is enforcing it. We as a people don't enforce.
Who is going to arrest them?
So we can't blame the girls for being there.
So it's easy entirely to arrest the girls.
Yeah.
We didn't see any guys there. Right?
Low hanging fruits.
That is.
So they raided when they may probably arrest him, so that patronage will be maybe later in the day. But they raided during the morning when the girls are resting, sleeping, when no customer. And then you put cameras in their faces, you're slapping them. It's one-sided.
You really wanted to raid, you raid at night.
You raid at night, you carry both parties.
Patronage raid when you think it's the best time to raid a place and catch them unawares. But also, I think there are two things we should look at here. We have the police PRO speaking. So usually, we would be blaming police for this sort of behavior where we feel that you're not putting into consideration everything, human rights and things like that. But this is the police saying that even us, we think this was done wrong. So good, coming from the police, but then also the task force. Is it enough to just gather a group of people and say you are now task force? And then when you do you train them? You need to. We need to train our people. Yeah, I know, but we need to train people to understand what is what they can be doing wrong in trying to enforce the law. So these people we may say overzealous, but in their opinion, they think, look at what we're doing for government, look at what we're doing for our people. But if we haven't taught them that there is a way that you need to conduct yourself or conduct an arrest, then we'll find ourselves having this discussion. And then they're saying that it was like a drug raid or something like that. So
NDLA too should have
been there. Task force
is not empowered for a drug raid.
Exactly. So obviously, so task force was totally wrong here. If it was a drug issue, you should have invited NDLA. If it was a brothel, you should have invited the police so that they go with you to raid the place. You don't just go there and just.
Well, what about the chances of further abuse? Because, we always think they are prostitutes, so they are less human beings, lesser human beings. And so arresting them, taking them does not guarantee that their rights were followed in the release. Right. How do we know to pay with their bodies or pay, cash to get released? This is an entire abusive episode for me, just watching it. Yeah. I think proper things should be done. And if the governor empowered this task force to do this and they've just messed up, they must be made to do a public apology to the girls. So, even though we are not supporting what they do,
now the rate that you're carrying out, to what end? Is there any plans for rehabilitation for these girls? So you say it's a crime to do this sort of business, and now you have roped all of the young girls out together. Where are you taking them to? Even after release, are you releasing them into the world again to go back because they will find another space to continue doing the business? Do you have? So the thing is, we usually jump into things without properly thinking it through and having solution-oriented plans to sort of help the society and help these people. You release them, you take them to the police station. Some people will have their way with them. They go back, they resume that business. If we go back in the next few months, you see that establishment is still working. Customers are still going.
They were not raided to help them. They were raided to embarrass them.
Wow.
It wasn't about solving anything with those girls.
It doesn't make sense.
About just embarrassing them.
If you comment on social media as well. The Bobby comments on the previous topic is also okay. Let us just let Nigerians get involved.
So Andrew says many of those girls look under 18 to me. They look so young. I was scared. When we were growing up, the people we used to see that stay in those places used to be elderly women with their red lipstick. You will see elderly grandmas doing the business. But when I saw that, I'm like, whoa, these girls should be in school.
I was wondering how she saw them, the elderly women.
No, when we're going, when you're going to school now, you know their areas now. You see them, they'll come out and be calling young Delta State Asaba. They come out and be calling young boys. You see them. They are elderly women. But I saw young girls, I'm like, I'm weeping for.
The ones that we see here at Alakija, they are young girls.
Back in the day?
There's one I saw a month ago on my way back from the hospital. And she looked so underage.
Oh, God.
I swore, I said, this girl, they've just brought her. She was speaking Igbo. I said, this girl has just been deceived. Probably told by someone that I'm going to help you, and she has run away from home. We're just looking. Because he was a brother, I dare not accost anybody. I drive past JJJ. They are all around.
Let me take this call. Gloria calling from Warri. Thanks for calling.
Yes. Please, though, the old passport, maybe one of them is the customer. Although first time caller. Because task force in Delta State, both the one they put in roads, all of them, they are not properly trained. They are misbehaving anyhow, including the road ones. They will harass you, stand in your front for no reason. They will just say rubbish out of their mouth because they are not properly trained. Especially the ones in Zoo Road. Especially the ones in Zoo Road. Those task force, those government task force, they are agberos. They are just giving a t-shirt written task force on them. That is how they behave.
Thank you. It's possible. She's right. One of the
experience of a citizen, resident of Delta State. I just hope the governor is watching today. Because before they will rubbish your entire administration, this is post-election employment. Oh yeah, group you, task force, group you. This, that, group you, that.
Go and harass
but look at the embarrassment that is starting because now you're putting people in creating jobs for your people.
As an assumption.
I'm just saying
an assumption that this tax force was just created.
PRO just said, let me put my matter in context and reach a conclusion. Please. I want to build the premise that a tax force was created by the government and they are the ones who went to carry out this raid without the necessary security agency collaboration.
Yes. And we're just
he just said so. Okay. But this embarrassment, the governor can avoid it.
Yes, by training these people, they have to give them jobs.
If they are not even working as they should, they're not presenting the right image of your administration, let them go.
Train them.
But then what? Unemployed trained officers.
Where are they?
Because they are security.
Because you still need tax forces. Because if we remove the brothel issue, there's a drug issue across the nation, and they need these guys on the ground to do this.
They jump in front of cars
because they lack training.
They operate, because they lack training. Carry on.
So we can get them properly trained.
You can employ properly trained people.
Where are they?
People see they find work.
Let's not do like that. Even the ones that are trained, don't they jump into front of cars?
God bless you.
What are you talking about?
Even the professors in university, when they speak with children with their
my sister.
Sack him. Employ one that will do well.
Okay.
If one is going to rape,
let me hear Maria
and slapping people, not very.
I have a call.
Sack him.
Employ the one that I have a call with you. Go ahead. Let me tell the children.
Yes, I was going to say this is where we're now going to go. I'll take you back to our conversations every time on education. The need for proper and quality education at primary and secondary school level. When you do that, you're already educating and training your task force, your labor market. So when these people come, at least they have a certain idea of what they are meant to do. They are educated to secondary school level. You join the task force, you give them extra training for that particular job that they are meant to do. But our children are not going to good schools. There are no good teachers. They are not in the secondary schools, and they are dropping out. That is what you will find. If you say sack them, where will you get the others from?
Exactly.
Those who even get proper education, you think they want to be joining task force? They want to go to the banter job. Thank you.
They want to Japa. Let me take Sulaiman's recording. Good morning, Sulaiman. I'm not responding. You're live. Go ahead, please, Sulaiman.
Yeah, in my life, those task force, are they not the product of Delta State?
Yes.
Nima know what I'm saying, and of their belief, is it easy for somebody in Delta State to control? See, the youth of Delta State, you can't just come and smile to them and say, "Come, you are under arrest. You are going with me."
True.
But that video you are seeing, making noise say they are disturbing, is worry person easy to control?
They're not.
Can you tell
You can castigate a whole. I think that's generalization.
And then
you cannot just.
And I think Solomon should also know that even the police have disagreed with what happened. So it's not just like someone took a picture, a video, and left. Also, the way they were treated, they were slapped around. Yes. At least we should see that. So they were being controlled by force. We saw that. Even if worried people cannot be controlled, they can control them by force.
Why would anybody say worried people cannot be controlled?
I wanted to say that even though the video might have been done by one person, did anybody come to say with this disannounce deny the
police
government
disclaimer?
No, I'm talking on government side now.
So
somebody to reject that behavior, the video, in the way they were treated. Nobody has spoken against the comportment of the officials at
this conversation,
except the PRO. Now I'm talking of the person who created the office.
Task force, yes.
The person they report
dissociate itself from the fact that this video was leaked. Yes.
Obviously, they don't even know that they are meant to decide.
So it's wrong.
We have to.
But an average worry person is not easy to bamboozle.
At all.
Would you say
if you
that?
jump for front of car, if you enter car, they go carry.
They go carry. They go. I don't carry person. They go like that.
But it's not. But we are just laughing at something serious.
Yeah.
I believe
we need
that
to do better.
Leaving and retraining a badly behaved person in service is to ensure that person continues.
So when they carry you, go, you not take advantage of your house.
You go land where you know.
The lady.
It was not the data said that woman said the police officer was on someone's car. They know they carry me go. I don't know. They are said everything.
And then a woman.
So when did you take? Where did you drive to? Where did you drive to?
I was just going home and I was going to Ota. You know my side that time was that area.
Wait,
I wore boots.
The person didn't have a gun.
No, she didn't have a gun. It was a lady. I expected her to understand. She just opened door and jumped inside car.
They just going.
So we started going.
At what point did she come down?
She started. Madam, where are we going to? so when she entered, she saw my boots. So we wearing high ankle boots.
See why Nigerians are difficult to govern. People are so difficult to govern. I don't understand.
But you know, she couldn't have been pretending.
Exactly. Now, why do I have to come here and be acting all same?
That's funny video.
You don't jump into my car like that.
I was shouting in the car. They don't carry me go. I don't know.
That was the gator.
But you see, Do we want a nation or do we want a banana republic?
Train your people. Train your officials. Train them to do the right thing.
Somebody just said, like, if I train my officials to speak in English, they will not listen to the English.
No, that's not English we're saying now. You can train them to be proper Indian local language. They need the task force because these are grassroots. But must it be English that you teach someone how to
speak all the time?
You're arrested, you're under arrest. Please, let's go together.
Madam, I beg, calm down, I beg, calm down. You don't commit. Just calm down. May we talk.
Will they answer you?
Yes. May we talk. Just come down. May we talk. You don't go fly enter car. You don't know whether the person drink that day.
That is all.
Just put iron for
please. See you tomorrow. The person don't drink.